Peace, Jam Jam. Hey, hope you're well. I'm just eating some grapes over here. I just wanted to talk to y'all about the idea of the suburbs. I was watching Donald Trump talk about how, we're going to get all these resources and stuff like you've never seen before. And I was like, man, like, what kind of extractive ass, like, mindset is that? And then I started to think about, like, the idea of the suburbs, right? And oddly enough, I'd actually done some research on this before, and so the thing about the suburbs was it's basically white flight, right? After slavery ended and Reconstruction was happening in Atlanta, the urban center was popping, but white folks did not want to be there with the other black folks who were also, just trying to live their life. They wanted to have their own kind of utopian place and continue their supremacist vibes from Confederacy. So in comes in this land planner, right? And he was working with the Sisters of Confederacy, which is also akin to the Klan. They were working on Stone Mountain Park in Georgia. They were working on that park in order to get it done, right? So he was doing construction. Sisters of Confederacy was backing it and organizing for that. So every day that he walked past, or every day that he made the trip from Atlanta out to Stone Mountain, out on the eastern side of town, he came past this little town, and it came to be Avondale, right? And there were some black folks who kind of lived in that area. They were farmers. They were doing their thing. But either way, he ended up buying that land and basically doing a bunch of land planning to make it be this perfect suburban utopia where, white folks could feel like they were safe and amongst other folks just like them and who shared the same values, who didn't want black folks around. And that's just what the time was. The early 20th century, late 19th century, that's just what it was. And it is to that today too. Either way. So the suburbs came around. Then the guy who was gonna sculpt and do the dynamite blasting in Stone Mountain for the generals on the horses, that guy, he basically was just not good to work with, for lack of better terms, and him and the guy who was doing the original planning for the project didn't get along. But while they were working together for about maybe like a year or so, he ended up putting him in this house in Avondale Estates, which is like this kind of old Germanish, like European antiquity kind of style town. It's beautiful architecture and stuff. If you like that. But this was the town, right? It was kind of taking it back to Europe, taking it back to a great again, if you will. And so the point I'm trying to make is that, so basically he housed this dude. They did not end up getting along together, and he ended up, dipping out. And eventually he was the sculptor for the he became the sculptor for Mount Rushmore. And as we know, Mount Rushmore is a monumental site here in the Americas that has the heads of several white men presidents carved out of the mountainside. So there's that. I haven't seen it in person. It's an iconic thing. It seems kind of messed up. Right? Because when you think about monuments, most are built, right? And they're built up. It's either a mound, or it's a statue, or it's a temple, or it's a thing. Sometimes they're subterranean, but that's just a thought. So landing this plane, there has been a lot of talk about extracting resources, and the suburbs are that, right? You're able to take the money that you make in the city and you put it out to another municipality that does not embetter everything else, right? And so now that's my loose understanding of it. Anyways, that's where we're at. I hope you guys have a great day. And yeah, just a little suburban history. Follow me everywhere else. Jamstar X. Peace. Free Sudan, free Congo, free Palestine. Peace.